when you're real, when you're really operating from the fucking truth of who you are, it's felt. Doesn't mean everyone's gonna like it, doesn't mean everyone's gonna vibe with it, but it's really felt.
If you don't have integrity, you're gone. Like, I cut you out. You're out.
Self-expression is what we're here to do, and when you suppress that, you're just walking around dead.
Hardship is inevitable. That's why we get stronger. And you're not going to be able to be strong if you don't seek that discomfort. So avoiding it is the worst thing you can do. If I feel strong, I'm confident. You know, I'm able to pursue things that scare me because I'm strong. Otherwise, that's a tough decision when you don't feel you're up for the challenge.
Real talk, real wisdom. All heart, all in. This is the Roxanne Show.
I'm so excited. I don't know if you remember, but we met in real life in May 2018 when you guys came to Venice.
I remember it was a Dosis event, I believe.
Yeah.
And we were like promoting him, and I met you there. And I've met your brother, and almost your whole family. So
yeah, I know. If my brother Arya, he was the one that introed me to you guys, and I can't believe it's been so long ago now, because I was scrolling through your Instagram, just getting ready for this talk, and I was like, fucking 2018, damn. And it's 2025. I mean, we're almost halfway through. Wow. Or we are halfway through. Yeah, it's been so good to have, just to know you guys, even at a distance. But, we've obviously had a little real life time together. But you and the boys have really impacted me personally. Before I started podcasting, my brother Arya introed me to you guys, and this is when I just started getting into listening to podcasts, right? Which was about like 2 years before I launched mine. And there's a lot of things to love about you and to love about, everything Mind Pump. But for me, my most favorite part is just the authenticity. It's so palpable, and I'm sure that I'd love to hear you talk about this, actually. I want to really open this up with you, but I really believe that when you're real, when you're really operating from the fucking truth of who you are, it's felt. Doesn't mean everyone's going to like it, doesn't mean everyone's going to vibe with it, but it's really felt. And I felt that from the beginning with all of you. And the consistency is its own sort of story behind it too. Like it confirms just that what you see is what you get with you guys. And I love that.
That's so great. I love that. Honestly, that's probably been the best compliment that anybody's given us, is like when they meet us in person, they're like, oh, you're the same person.
Yeah.
And this isn't a facade. This isn't something that we're not playing a part. And what you see is what you get. And that's really like the core of how we started. And I think the frustration that we had in this industry, it's just such a bunch of fakeness and posturing and ego, and which it's served people. It's more marketable, and so that's been a really tough uphill battle for us, is to just remain pure, who we are and what we're focused on, what we're about, stay true to that. And that really has been our North Star. And that's why I feel like we've played the long game early.
Yes.
And that's what we did. We're like, we're not going to get the instant hits, because we're not giving people the easy solutions. We're not the sexy thing to market right now. We're not. There's nothing flash in the pan with what we were promoting, and so that's and it's when we struggle, when we fuck up, when things don't go right, we talk about it, and we try to be as honest as possible. And I just feel like it just parallels how we used to train people and how we used to connect with people. And the best thing to do with that is to relate and to be vulnerable. And have them know too that you had those same struggles, or you can empathize on that level. But that's been definitely a big core of who we are and what the show's about.
I resonate with so much of what you said deeply, just not flash in the pan. You know, in my own expression, it's like, fuck, you know, I might not be the highlight reel on Instagram, but, you know, I'm consistent and it's real for me. Like, this is it, you know? When you're saying that, I was thinking to myself, I feel like, with full respect to the fact that, of course, you've evolved as a person throughout your life, but I have a feeling that Justin now is Justin, like, I feel like we're both Gen Xers. I feel like we would have been friends in high school. I feel like you're the same guy. I feel like you haven't, you know, the authenticity piece is like, this is just who you are. And of course you've grown, you've expanded, and we'll talk about all that. But just, I feel like the root of who you are has been consistent throughout your whole life. Would you say that that's a truth? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. It's funny because I don't really talk about this very often, but, I tried to be as honest as possible in the beginning too, and like how hard it was for me. Like I just don't carry conversations for a long period of time. That's just not my personality. I've always been in a friend group of 3 or more, and you know, and it's fun for me to have conversations, especially deep conversations. But it was always like a really small core group. It wasn't something I was projecting out there for people to come and peer in on. That was like just kind of a fun thing. And I mean, I hung out with a lot of stoners growing up, and that was my core, you know, like they were just easy to hang out with. Not a lot of that energy like we get now, where it's like, I don't know, there just seems to be a lot more pressure about like how we're gonna do for statistics on social media, and you know, what kind of content works best for this type of group, or and that's always been really hard for me to think in that direction, because it's beyond who I really am. Like for me, I just like to I like to be a resource for people. I want to help people, and I want to improve myself more first and foremost. So if I can do that by working on my communication skills, immersing myself in an environment where it forces me to get better, and really challenge that. Like if there's a weak point, I've always sought after those weak areas that I can improve on, because the other side of it is so much growth.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about is for me, it's it was really, it's been a long road for me because of the friction. This is probably my weakest area that needed to be improved, and it's so ironic that this is what I do for a living. I can't even express to people how bizarre that is, and how my whole family is like, they have no idea like that this was going to be my career path, and this is what I was going to be doing, and I didn't either.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened, and I'm stoked for it. Like it's such a rad job, and I love helping people, and this just helps me kind of scale that.
Yeah.
Because personal training has been like such a rad career for me, and I've seen a lot of people that I've helped, and been able to coach and guide towards success, and you know, and so this show is an extension of that. But man, what a challenge for me individually. It's been a really rocky road that I feel like I'm just now feeling more comfortable, and feeling like I am different. Like I do feel like quite a bit more confidence talking about my opinions, and conveying information to people on a deeper level. So
yeah, I feel like when you're really being true to who you are, you're going to be moving on your highest path in life. Highest path is really, for me, it's like the highest expression of yourself, where the most growth is going to happen, where the you know, where you're really operating from your gifts, things that you're really passionate about, and also this ends up being contribution to life. And even if it's not linear, it usually isn't, right? Like you're zigging and you're zagging. I mean, everything that you just said, I mean, here's several things that come through my mind is when I think about you, especially in the dynamic between you, Sal, and Adam, I mean, they're obviously more outspoken. You hear their voice more on the show. You're totally present there. And at the same time, and maybe this is just my own sort of take on psychology, I already understand that while you may not be as vocal or haven't been, it's maybe it's like you just said, it's the comfort zone. But I think more than anything, I believe that you are a very deep thinker, that you process a lot. And so, and I know everybody, you know, whenever I say I'm an introvert, people are like, what? I'm like, how are you a fucking introvert? It's like, well, no, I am. Trust me. I require, and I don't even like to simplify by labels, but you know, whatever, it works sometimes. I've always kind of felt that Justin just, he witnesses and he takes in a lot and he processes deeply. So it's not necessarily like you're just the quiet guy. It's just that your internal world is really rich. And so kind of pulling on a lot of things together right now from just what you said, I love that your timeline seems to have been this, you know, you have a background in sports, you've chased excellence, you never back down from the fight. Like the challenge becomes the goal, right? And and it's, you know, it's positioned you throughout your life to do things that you're passionate about, like training, and then land you in this position where you are now with your fucking teammates to be not just taking so much of your gifts, you know, intangibles from your past, but also putting yourself in a position where you're constantly growing, and in your growth and how that evolves, it's contribution to the world, right? So there was a lot that I just said, but that's how I'm like, that's how I take you in. And I'm really excited, you know, it's one of my favorite parts about podcasting with guests is to just get into your fucking world. And there are so many amazing talks. Obviously your show where we get to hear a lot about, you know, you and training and all that. But for me, what was really inspiring me to want to have the conversation with you is like, well, I want to know more about Justin and that inner landscape and like the background, because there is actually, like, you can get it here and there, but I haven't had it in one conversation where I can sit down and just take in Justin. And it's been so fun to go into your world. Congratulations on your new PR on that 315.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was a beast.
It's a fucking big deal.
Yeah, I was proud of myself for that.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. It is hard, and you're very accurate in your assessment. It's always fun for me to hear people and how they listen and how they pick up on things, and personality wise, or what they interpret from how we interact and how we contribute. And it's usually pretty accurate. It's always surprising to me because I feel like a lot of people miss a lot of what I'm talking about, or you know, some of the subtleties I'll add in there. And everything I'm doing on the show is very intentional. And so if there's a dynamic going on between Sal and Adam, it's getting tense, I try to break that, you know, or if it's getting boring, I try to fuck them up and create chaos. So the listener has something. They have something a little bit more interesting, or it's funny, or it's engaging. I don't want to be, and I'm not a passive guy. I am sitting there and I'm analyzing, and it does. And I think the biggest hurdle for me was really being able to up my processing speed. And so for me, I like to analyze, and I like in anything that comes out of my mouth, even as I'm talking, I'm already filtering it, and I've had to learn how to stop analyzing every little thing because it really was slowing my delivery. And I get self-critical with my ums and my pauses and all that kind of stuff. You just start overthinking things, and the biggest help I've learned is just let it out. Just let it out, and if there's a moment where I feel like I can contribute and add something, some kind of spice or some knowledge or something from my own experience, I'm going to fight more to get it in there. And it really is. It's great because these guys are so good. They're so talented. And for me, it's like a challenge. It's like a big challenge to be in that room with them to really keep up, and it's forced me to grow at a level that I didn't think I would achieve. And really, that series that I just recently did, where I was trying to hit that PR, is an example of that's just something that I enjoy it. It's I want to seek those really uncomfortable places. I want to find them, and I want to test myself and put it out there and have people peer in, because for me, I really want to prove mainly to myself, but just the accountability of knowing that people are peering into it gives me that extra bit of responsibility and accountability and more energy towards doing something better.
Yeah.
And a lot of that too is the athlete in me that wants to show up to the game and perform at my best. And it's the challenging side to that as well is just I'm very self-critical. So I will come back and I will analyze, and it's sometimes that really gets to me. But
how do you fight that or work with it?
I think I've learned to tone it down a bit, but I used to. I'm so hard on myself that a lot of times people don't really have the opportunity to critique me. I've already addressed that internally and have adjusted, and I'm working on it. So, I don't know. I think it was kind of the environment I grew up in as well. So there was a lot of criticism, and I say that because I had a great childhood, but at the same time, it was very everything I did was challenged, and the way I did it was challenged, and I couldn't do it the right way. It just felt like everything I did wasn't the right way. So that really stuck with me to try to figure out how I could do it to that degree where I could improve. Where yes, like maybe that was initially for me to get approval from my parents, from my family, from my peers, and then the evolution of that was not needing that, and stepping away from that and realizing that I did my best and I performed at the level that I was at with my best ability, and so I've been able to step away from being that critical and that harsh and really doing it for other people, not myself. So I think the big shift there for me was to really challenge myself for myself. And I've gotten so much more out of it as a result of kind of switching that mindset towards it. Yeah.
You kind of distilled it down to, I don't need your validation. I'm going to push myself just to see what I can ask of myself, right? To be capable. And so that's different. And I'm right there with you. It's this accountability. I think, and I'd love to hear what you think about this, but, like I have a standard of excellence, which could be confused as perfection, but it's not actually. I'm not even playing the perfection trap. It's just more of this edge of always kind of seeing what you got, like that next level of what's possible from you and for you. And it's, to me, it's very inspiring because it drives you, it keeps you hungry in life. Right. And at the same time, when you are really a self-accountable person, like you're not going to let yourself off the hook, then you're always looking at yourself with this kind of critical eye, like, was it actually your best? Like, could you do better? You know what I mean? Like, I get to the end of my day sometimes, I'm like, fuck, I really gave it, it's like I go all out every day, and then you can hear that little voice in the background, like, but did you? I'm like, shut the fuck. And it's like you want it there, but you also have to know how to manage it. So it's this really interesting experience when you are someone who's driven by performance, not performance for the external, but just for yourself, like what you just said, how you've shifted that for yourself. And, when I see you reaching for a PR at this stage of your life, it's like, well, what the fuck is that for? Right. Well, it's not, you're not competing, right? It's for you. But you also, and we love that, but you also have to manage that little fucker that wants to like deflate you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And he was there the whole time, talking shit to me. It was, and to your earlier assessment of me being very deep thinker, like, so I tend to attach a lot of parallels and metaphors going on all at the same time. So, me conquering that is really just like, it's this metaphor for all these other struggles I was dealing with at the time. And I portrayed it onto this amount of weight.
Yeah.
And it's like, this specific amount of weight is crushing me and it's going to bury me. And again, like we had a difficult year, the start of this year, business-wise. And what I'm responsible for a lot in this business is the programming side. And our MAPS programs have fallen off a bit. The thing is, like, we came out with our initial programs and they did really well, and then it's picked up a lot of steam, and just over the years, like, we've pretty much tapped a lot of our audience, and we've saturated them with a lot of programs, and realized we need to really reevaluate how we're delivering these programs, why we're not getting as big a response as we were initially, how we can reinvent it. And to me, that was just, it's immediate stress because I'm overseeing and responsible for that quality control.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was failing everybody. So that was just one of those things that, like, it hit me. And then I was like overextending myself too with my wife. We were taking on a project. We just bought another house that we did, like, we're doing a full rebuild. Like, it was just supposed to be a remodel, and it turned into this big rebuild. It just, like, timing wise, it was all of a sudden we have all these bills stacking up. We have all of this, like, and then the business is nosediving, and you can kind of get yourself in a place where you start spinning out and you start stacking all these things up. And I was kind of doing that, knowing full well that I was being a little dramatic in my assessment of everything going on. We have it pretty good. Like, we're crushing it. We're doing well business wise, but this is a massive deficit. That's all I'm focused on. And plus, it's in my, this is in my wheelhouse. So it was very relevant for me. So anyway, I started to kind of pin all of this towards that goal.
Yep.
And it just to make it even that much more intense. So I felt every bit of that weight as I finally lifted it overhead, and it was like this crazy release. But again, I live for that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of people avoid that type of stress or try to make things easier. I felt like the last few years I've been coasting a bit too, and that was really getting at me.
In what way? Just in general, or
Just in the way that when you're, I haven't done anything consistently this long business-wise. So this is the longest I've ever been with a group of guys working towards one thing. I used to work by myself, and I've always been kind of a solopreneur, very much a lone wolf. I have my systems, I have the way I do things, and it's perfect. It's great. But including people and delegating, that took a lot of effort for me to really get better at that and include people in the process, adopt other systems, that kind of thing. I've been on a lot of different teams, sports wise, so I'm no stranger to that kind of team dynamic. But being with a team this long started to. I just felt like I knew my role finally, and then I was able to systematize that, and then it was kind of autopilot.
Yeah.
So I was getting things done, I was doing the thing, and then coming to work, and then we were doing the podcast and whatever content else we were working on. But I didn't feel like I was driving towards some goal that was really fulfilling me. And so I struggled back and forth. I have a lot of creative energy, like being creative. If I have to identify with anything, that's like a huge one for me. I have to have like a creative outlet, or I feel like I'm dying every day. Like it's that intense.
I love it. I love
like
it.
I have to produce something. I have to do something, give it back to the world.
Yes.
Even if it's garbage, if it's in here, if it lives in here, it has to come out.
I love that. You've always been that way, huh?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I feel like that's probably why, because you're a big music person too. Yeah.
Big time.
I mean, it's my first love, and it's everything. But that's the thing. It's like, I feel the depth and creativity and music. Like I get it. I guess I get it because I am it too, like I'm very much that fucking person. And so I love that you have that need about you where it's like, because I actually really believe that self-expression is what we're here to do. And when you suppress that, you're just walking around dead. Like, I don't give a fuck what it is, but we all come here to create and to grow. I mean, look at nature. We are nature, right? It's like, it's the same shit. It's always growing. So the minute we stop and we kind of, plug that up, it's like, what are we? What are we even doing? So I totally understand. And I love that you speak to that, especially as a man, not to genderize or, but like, I think that's actually really important. I think usually the conversation maybe lands more in like the feminine space, but it's like, no, fuck that shit.
I could see that. No, you know what's weird about that? Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, because a lot of what I work on, like I work with a lot of women, like, and it's kind of interesting because, I do have a lot of artistic background and, drama and the arts and all that is something I was more interested in that than I was X's and O's and engineering and, that kind of like I wasn't interested in anything else other than just like the creative side of life and right brain type of living. So I work with a lot of artists constantly and a lot of consultants and contractors. And so it's interesting because everybody else claims they could care less, especially with the branding, especially with a lot of the presentation. And it tends to fall a lot in my lap because I do care and I do. That's been another humongous struggle for me, though, is because when they say they don't care, it's not necessarily true. When I come to present it, all of a sudden now I have all these opinions. And I used to try to take those opinions into consideration. And it just created this convoluted branding that was just, I can't even, it's just this hodgepodge mess. And it's something I'm still cleaning up now, and I would really like to tackle that, and I'm slowly kind of working my way there. But it's so funny because it's the opposite of how I've done every other business. I always started with this really succinct like vision of like how I wanted the brand, how I wanted everything to look, how I wanted to organize everything. And then I did the work.
Yeah.
And then it's like, here it's like, it's all work and we got to make money and then everything and then, oh yeah, we'll worry about that later. It doesn't matter. Now all of a sudden it matters because we're a big company and we still look like a startup company.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I've learned to compromise, and this is all part of working with a team and understanding priorities, because we have employees, we have to pay everybody, and a lot of my ideas tend to cost money.
Yeah.
And so, that's the nature of the beast. So, I find other ways to be creative, especially with the programs made sense to me, because when I construct, workouts, and this is what I did with my clients all the time. Yeah, I would consider the most effective workout. That would be like priority number one. Priority number two, what do they like? And then what do I need to consider to make this more enjoyable? And then what's something I could challenge them on and introduce that they haven't learned yet. These are all important factors that we try to incorporate in our MAPS programs. And so this is where a lot of the discussion and debate happens amongst the three of us. But it's definitely something that people understand. It's a pretty simple format that we have in our programming, but at the same time, when they do it, they're like, wow, that was more fun. And they notice things that they don't notice just by reading it. It's an experience. And that's all intentional, and that's all been thought out. Especially the order of operations, how you're going to feel after you're done, the type of feedback we get as a result of the real challenging ones, where we can go, where is there green grass that we haven't covered yet. And I want to challenge myself too to learn new techniques so I can incorporate those in future programs. So that's something at least stimulating for me that I can keep going with. And so I don't want it to die. And I know that this is all part of business. We have shifting and moving targets all the time. And we have a whole new business that we started this year that's taking off, and it's awesome. It's great. Meanwhile, that's sort of slipping. So now we're getting more emphasis on bringing in coaches to coach people online and actually in-house. And so it's exciting. It's like, it's back to our roots of personal training. Yeah. But now we're coaching them, and then now we can actually lead people towards coaches that we can put our stamp on. It's like, okay,
good.
They embody all of our values.
Yes.
They're gonna run things the way that we would, and people are gonna experience it the way that they should. And so it's I feel really good about it.
So good. And
I'm very invested in it. But it's a shift. It's a definite change, and it's exciting, but also too, I want to make sure that there's still an outlet there that I can still have like a good hand in that experience and improve it. So
yeah, I love that. I mean, so what I'm hearing is like challenges. Obviously, it's like the through line, which I very much love and relate to myself in my life. I see challenges as an opportunity for growth. I have my whole, like one of my quotes, I'm a writer, seek the fight, right? We got to look for those challenges. What I'm hearing about MAPS and just really your approach to, not just parts of your business, but I think your business as a whole is the art of it, like how you can, express that creativity in all these different zones of your business. Not only for the benefit of, the clients, people who buy your programs, or those coaches, when you're new, business, but also, and even just as importantly for your own self, like you need to be able to flex those muscles, where you're keeping yourself fresh and inspired. And I think creativity is it's so important, man. Also, I think something that's really this to me is, if you don't have this dialed in and you're not keeping this strong, I don't know what you're fucking doing in life. But curiosity. Yeah. Let's talk about what's curiosity's role in your life, and maybe just from like growing up to even its role in your life now. Like how do you what's your value around it, and how is it impacting you and supporting you? Or
curiosity, it leads me in all kinds of directions. It's kind of, it helps me find new ways to attain purpose. And I look at it as that's part of my barometer. It's am I interested in anything, and how can I find that? So I guess that's a big part of what I do every day. I'm looking for that stimulus. I'm looking for something to keep driving me. So I wake up and I feel like I'm a part of figuring something out. If it's something challenging I haven't mastered yet, that's interesting to me. If I know that I'm not really good at something and I've improved quite substantially, that's interesting to me. If it's something that I am good at, but I could be a lot better at, I might go in that direction. So I kind of, it's a bit of an undulating process. So I do, when I feel flat is when I feel dead. Yeah. And that's something that I try to avoid that as much as possible. So I'm always looking for something that excites me. And music is a big one for me, and I've found my way back to it and started playing guitar quite a bit more the last 2 years. And I don't post anything with me really playing because I'm not doing it for anybody but myself. Yeah. And for me, it's always been about connection. And I got the same type of value that I get by having conversations with Adam and Sal, with playing music with my other friends when I was in college, and we were trying to make this work and trying to make this band work, and it was just it's that group flow. I think that's a big part of it, is trying to get into group flow, because that's so addictive for me. Yeah. It's a feeling that I don't know if I've experienced anything like it that's as enjoyable. Like even for football, I've been able to get there with certain teams that we're all bought in. It's like everybody's bought in and synced up and driving towards that same mission. Yeah. That's what I want. And I'm looking for that always. So I was looking for that in sports, and then I was looking for that in business, and I was all by myself in business, and then I ran into Adam again, and we had a really great relationship when I worked for him. He was the only person that really got me from a managerial perspective, and just he knew that I was very self-critical, and he could just tell me something, and even if I would mess up, I would cover my tracks and fix it and figure it out, and so he kind of was able to give me that leeway and autonomy. And then in this business as well, thankfully Sal and Doug as well are very, we very much have figured each other out to make it work and to lean on each other for our strengths. So I get that same winning feeling, like that. Yeah. We're winning. We're helping people. We're doing it, and that's what's important to me. Yeah. When I'm pursuing anything, it's whether it's accomplishing something very specific, or it's wow, look at how this is affecting people positively, and I'm contributing something to the world. I'm driven towards that. So if I'm not getting that, then I don't really know what I would do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a big part of what I operate on every day.
Well, I feel, that it's, you really are a man who has strong values and standards. And I think that's so important. I think a lot of people haven't really, certainly standards could be definitely on the side of things, but I don't think a lot of people really know what they value, truly. I think there's a lot of people who have the idea of something they value. Like, for example, this is an easy one. You'll get it. Somebody says, well, health is a top value of mine. It's like, well, is it? Show me your lifestyle. Because I feel that values are evident in an individual's lifestyle. Like you just see it. Like you don't have to talk about it. It's just present, and it seems as if you really have a clear understanding of what your core values are. That's one. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And then the sort of piggybacking off that is what's so rad from my experience, just on the external with you and the boys, Adam, Sal, Doug. First of all, I don't think this is easy to find, but it does seem that your core values and standards are actually really in alignment. And that's, like I said, that I don't think that's really easy to find. But it's very palpable to me. I mean, it's like it's like a fragrance. Like I smell it, I see it, I get it, Yeah. But it's so important for so many reasons. Just how you show up in life for yourself, in your business, for your relationships, your loved ones. I mean, you're a father, you're a husband. Like the shit really matters.
Yeah. It's really weird that we're popular as we are. I'm going to be honest with you. We're such like dads and we talk about like such the corniest things all the time. And like, there's so many more entertaining shows out there. And it's interesting as we grew up, it was like this portrayal of the family was so different than what I experienced. And, it was kind of a joke, and what we were sold was just this lie. And for me it's like, how many girlfriends can I have? And like, it's this whole like seeking pleasure. And anyways, none of that stuff ever resonated with me. And I guess it was the way I was raised. And just like a lot of those core values were definitely passed on from my dad. And he's probably he's the one with the most integrity I've ever met. And integrity for me that's been the North Star. It's you live your own brand. You walk the walk.
Yes.
Your word is your bond. And so I think that's why we're so different now, because everything in the media and everything that we see on social media, it's so fake. It's so like there's so many lies floating around. People are really frustrated because they don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah.
And that's sad to me. It's really sad. And I do feel a bit of weight, even more so to convey that these have been rock solid for me. Like, this is how I understand myself. This is how I understand who to include in my life as friends, to work with. Like, if you don't have integrity, you're gone. Like, I cut you out.
Totally.
You're out. So all these politicians, like, they're done. I don't believe any of them. They're full of shit. And it pisses me off. Like, I get really upset that we're just... That's the standard that everybody is looking towards. Yeah. And there's such a better way to do it. And it's the same kind of passion I have too towards this misinformation of what is going to move the needle the most health-wise, and what's really going to help you attain a better result and get you to a place where you feel really good and you thrive again. And I want that for everybody. Like it's like, this is where we started out really with our fists flying, and we were punching up and we were taking on the biggest organizations we could. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like all this piss and vinegar to take people down. But even more so now, it's just living to those core values that we talk to, and trying my best to stay consistent. Yeah. It's not about all these other distractions. It's not about the coolest guy that has 8-pack abs, and I want people to see through the curtain. I want people to see what really lies on the other side of a lot of these messages.
Yeah.
And it's empty and it's lifeless. It's like you're gonna get to a place where it's despair. So I feel compelled even more so to be as honest as possible, and not allow people to. I don't want to mislead anybody. That's really big for me. Sure. I want to have integrity always, and I want to be known as that was at least I don't have to be the smartest person. Mm-hmm. I don't have to provide you with the most studies to back up my claims. Yeah. I don't have to do that. Nope. I know it works. I've seen it in person. I've trained hundreds of people. And we overcomplicate it and we convolute it. And it's all marketing. And marketing is a way to prey off of your emotions. Yeah. And marketing is bullshit. And so we don't use before and afters. We don't do a lot of things that would gain us a lot more attention and get us a lot more business. And so this is just something that it just eats away at me, because it's good in the sense that people are paying attention and they're listening to us, or they're listening to other podcasters and long form content where we can get into the nuance and we can really describe and walk people through the process a little more effectively, because you're not going to get that from these quick fit tips. You're not going to get this from these TikTok reels, and there's just not a lot of value there. That's all just junk food. So I'm happy that people are paying attention to that. I just hope it this is leading people more towards investigating what really works and educating themselves further on their own. Yeah. So that's really what I want as a result of that. But yeah, it's funny to me that it's almost like doing the right thing is punk rock, you know?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? When did that happen? You know?
It's so good. It's so validating for me in my life. I'm like, you've always been a bit of a misfit, definitely a bit of a rebellion, but not because I'm trying to be anti, it's just like, I think about high school especially, but it's because, I'm a critical thinker and I'm honest and I don't just follow, and you guys are the same. I mean, that's why there's so much resonance. But everything you just said, I think people really have to be ready to not to want to. It's like a consciousness thing. Honestly, I really feel like if you're still doing the, falling for the marketing, then that's where you are. I'm not saying that, how do I frame this? I'm not saying somebody can hear an episode from your show and their whole life will fucking change. In fact, we know that millions have already that's happened, right? But I do feel that to even find you sometimes, they have to be ready, Yeah. Yep. What I think is so rad too is that there's a through line and there's such a consistency with you guys. And what's rad about being public facing forward is that the whole catalog is there. Like, they can go back to fucking the beginning and it's steady. So there's no costume. There's never been costume. There's never been marketing to try and this or try and that. Like, that steadiness is so fucking, that's the money right there. And it takes a lot of integrity to get into it, what you guys are doing, and just like your whole approach. Just start with that, knowing that it almost puts you at a bit of a deficit in the beginning, just because of how the usual sort of way business and people go about things, right? It's like, no, they're going the costume and the this and the that and the marketing and the before and the after and then the flash. And it's like, you guys have been so anti that. And this pulls all the way back to the core value integrity. I love that you highlight that. That is a top core value of mine. And in integrity, I think why integrity is so special is because in that attribute, there are many others, like self-honesty, self-accountability, within integrity, authenticity. I just think that it's like you said, like it's everything, and it's a beautiful North Star. And I think it actually simplifies when that is a core value in your life. And I love that it's obvious. It's an obvious core value in your team. I think it really simplifies things. Simple doesn't mean easy. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the nexus of, that's our programming too.
Yeah.
It's simple wins, simplicity wins. And it's hard. It's really hard to distill things down to that most simple delivery.
Yep.
And it takes a lot of thought, and this is something too that I always picked up on, because I wasn't the greatest student, but I found ways to extract the bits that I knew, okay, this has the most value, I'm going to pay attention. This has the most value. I would pick apart each one of the lectures one of my professors was giving, and there's so much fluff. I guess the irritation I had with school was there's a lot of explanation that was unnecessary, and a lot of like high level theory, and I'm just kind of a brass tacks, like let's get to it.
Yeah.
That's all sounds great in theory. How does this work?
Yeah.
And so that's a bit of my energy, and that's probably too like why, in terms of when we have conversations, why you might hear a little bit less of my involvement. It's like, okay, what's going to have the most impact? What's going to have that punch? And so, yeah, I don't like. To me, that's a lot of ego. But again, I'm not knocking people that their personality is to really over-explain. It just doesn't resonate with me. I'm sitting and I'm listening, and I'm only listening to what is valuable.
Yeah.
And maybe that's an asshole move, but that's just what I've always done. And so I like to use that, and I've learned that that's a strength of mine. And so again, with the programming side of it, I've taken quite a few certification courses as an extension from college, and with that same mentality, it's like, okay, what's the most useful types of exercises and theory and modality that I could now adopt immediately and apply to my clientele? What's going to benefit them the most? And that's what I'm extracting. That's what I'm mining for constantly.
Right.
Because I just don't have the space. I don't have that mental space. I don't have that ability to really absorb that much information. So I distill it down, and what's going to be what are people going to be able to understand?
Yeah.
Because confusion is another huge hurdle on people's fitness journeys. And I want to avoid that. I don't want them to have a bad experience from the jump by inundating them and overwhelming them. Mm-hmm. And so I've learned to really be diligent about, I'm going to set them up and I'm going to pick those few things to focus on that are going to move the needle the most. And even on the podcast, we've continuously tried to figure out what that is. Like what are those things? What are those few things that will move people the most right out of the gates? And then we can add complication or complex information as we mature with the process.
Yeah.
But simplicity is this is a struggle for a lot of coaches and for trainers, because you get excited and you may have learned a lot of really high level philosophies, like a lot of theories out there that you want to apply right away with your clients. And you're just going to confuse them, and it's not going to really move them closer towards their desired objective. So that's just something I make sure I'm consistent with that, and that's also something too I'm trying to coach our coaches on.
Yeah.
Because it's never done. For the most part, it's not done with bad intention. It's just you get excited and you want to convey all the information. I have all the answers, and so you just bombard them with all the answers, and you get nowhere. So
totally. Well, it's
learning how to. Yeah.
No, sorry, learning how to.
Oh, just learning how to do that has been a skill that I've had to gain in practice. So yeah, it wasn't like something I just intuitively did right out of the jump.
Well, psychology. I mean, so much of training, whether you're the coach and especially the person being trained, I mean, there's such a psychological fucking game happening, right? Like you two of my brothers were trainers for years. And so I just know from just whether it's being trained by them, or just, them being my brothers, and that, I understand and know that there's so much psychology that comes into the picture when you're thinking about how you're going to get that person to understand and then obviously to stick to the thing and then to make advancement. I mean, there's just so much more that you have to consider. And I love that it still challenges you. I think that's really valuable. I think especially I love that you like the challenge of it, again, because I really believe that if more people took to this idea that we need challenge in life, right? We need it. I understand, there's a difference between distress and eustress, right? In fact, I don't even like the word problem. As a writer, I'm an asshole with words, because words are an experience energetically, right? It's like, well, no, I don't have a problem. I have a challenge, right? Like a challenge feels like, oh, let's fucking go to me. That's how I register it, right? Whereas like a problem is just like a big, I don't know, pile of shit. Like, what do you do with that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
somebody had phrased it for me one time as a propertunity. I've used that a few times. Yeah. I'm like, this is another opportunity for me. Yeah. So.
That's really good. I might have to incorporate that, but it makes such a big difference. And I think that, you want to wake up and you want to be hungry and you want to find ways to be curious and to, advance yourself and to, express yourself. And none of that is going to come without challenge, right? I always say, like, everything that I share online, it's not meant to be easy. It's at all. I don't sell easy. I sell real, at least for me. If it resonates with you, great. But I also am very clear about this part, that any time that you are pursuing any sort of higher expression of yourself in your life, your business, your relationship, whatever, like, be prepared to get punched in the face again and again and again. And that's okay. And I don't know if, and I really want to hear you speak to this, but like, I grew up 3 brothers, sisters, 80s. I'm 47. I was a senior when you were a sophomore.
45. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we grew up fucking all the martial arts, like blood sport. Rocky is like my life hero. Like, it's real for me.
Awesome.
I mean, all of that, like, I don't know how you feel about this, but so fucking grateful that we grew up when we did.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Fond memories for sure.
I mean, it's so, but the in memories, but the impact and the influence that, right? Like, do you think some of your resilience and even your approach to challenge, I mean, do you think that had something to do with that aspect of like growing up at that time?
Yeah, I think we lost a bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do. And it makes me a little bummed for the next generations that have been fed all this other coping and cry closets and whatever else, like anything to ease the pain of failure,
right.
Which is such a disservice. I've gotten to where I am literally because of the struggle.
Yeah.
And seeking that and learning to reframe it. So that's just something that hardship is inevitable and it's going to hit you. And that's why we get stronger. It's very parallel to training. And I think that's why I really liked training and why it impacted me so much was because it was hard, but I felt better every time I did it and after I was done. And then the next time I did it, I was like, wow, it's easier for me to deal with that crushing weight.
Yeah.
And I can maneuver and I can work my way through it because now I have a different attitude towards it. And yes, I'm more resistant, resilient. I can overcome things. Really, it's about overcoming that obstacle and stress. And and you're not going to be able to be strong if you don't seek that discomfort. Mm-hmm. So avoiding it is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
And again, this is why, mental illness and all it's so rampant right now and depression. People aren't facing these problems, these impending problems that are right in front of them. And physically, this is a great way to tackle a lot of mental problems as well, because it's integrated. We are one thing. It's not a separation of brain and body. It is one whole thing. So what affects your brain affects your body. And so to train, the easiest thing to do is to start addressing your body's needs. And the great part of that is it takes you out of that constant mind chatter. We just talked about this today in our podcast, and the study came out, and it just showed like it was so much more impactful to incorporate physical training alongside, therapy, and to me that always made perfect sense. It was just if you have a healthy operating body, you feel better. You think more clearly, you make better decisions. It's addictive to make better decisions, and it's crazy what transpawns after that. So just the whole philosophy is different now. And I do appreciate the way we grew up. I appreciate that things were harder and that we were challenged quite a bit more, and we were also left alone to figure it out. We didn't have people hovering over us every 2 seconds. Like, get out of here. Like, let me figure this out, and I will own this now because I figured it out.
So much more self-leadership as a result of what you just said and what we've lived. And it's so, so true. And oh man, there's so much in there that's so good. And we are a system of systems. You can't fight the mind with the mind. You need the body, right? Like it's just how, and I love that you point out the decisions. Like that is addicting. You know, when you're making great fucking decisions for your life, that does feel good. I know I feel like, to feel strong is actually really addicting. Do you agree? Do you feel that? Like it's like
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a visceral, it's a feeling, but also it gives you, it fuels you. Like if I feel strong, I'm confident.
Yes.
You know, I'm able to pursue things that scare me. Because I'm strong.
Yeah.
And otherwise, that's a tough decision when you don't feel you're up for the challenge. And you haven't conditioned your mind to handle that type of fear and stress. So I think a lot of it is really overcoming a lot of fear. Fear is so detrimental.
Yeah.
And that's just something, and everybody experiences it. And as parents, this is a whole nother dimension of experiencing fear, because now too, I fear for somebody that I'm looking after that I don't have necessarily all the control.
Yeah.
I have to do my best to model how I personally deal with these types of fears and stresses and the anxiety. I have to be able to, because I can say things, but kids pick up what you do. They listen to words, but they respond more to what they see and what actions that you're taking. So I'm always very cognizant of that. And I don't do the right thing all the time, but I try. I understand that's the biggest way for me to impact my kids is to model and show how. And so I'm honest. I'm honest about when things aren't working well, or when I'm scared about something and I'm working my way through it.
Yeah.
Because I want them to know, like I deal with the same things. Like I understand that it's scary to show up somewhere where you don't know anything, you don't have any friends, and you think you're going to screw up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the worst case scenario. What's the worst case scenario? And let's go through that. Let's role play that. And let's mentally prepare ourselves for it, but let's get strong and overcome that.
Yes.
And so that's, it's
so good.
Being a parent too, it's just been such a rad journey for growth. Like that's like a whole nother subject matter, but it's very much like that's been a whole second chapter of my experience in life is really now seeing a lot of the struggle I went through, and now how I can mentally prepare and physically prepare my kids for that same journey.
No, well, I think it's also connected. I mean, you have two kids, right? Two boys,
two
right?
boys.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
two boys. One's in gymnastics, right? Are they both in sports? Yeah, because I've seen
one's in gymnastics now.
So amazing.
Yeah, the other ones we're trying to figure out, but he's tried a few like jiu-jitsu and football and basketball. So we're working on it.
And he's just kind of feeling. I mean, that's the thing, right? You want to introduce them and then see how they respond, right? So yeah.
And two, I've talked to a lot of like world-class coaches that have actually talked about like the age groups of like what to try to kind of expose them towards, and then we're gonna. So for now, it's like gymnastics was great because it's all about proprioception, it's about body awareness, and it's like balance and athleticism. Mm-hmm. And they both got a lot out of that because my youngest even did gymnastics for 2 years. And then now he's a strong kid and he's looking for that next thing. But because of my experience with sports as well, like I was forced into a few things. And so I want to make sure I've been kind of checking myself and my own energy. Like I really want him to play football, but I don't want to like, insert myself in that
Laces
process.
out,
Like, I want him to
Finkel.
find it.
You don't want you don't want to be that. You don't want to be that
Yeah,
parent.
I don't want to be the psychopath parent, that's like determining his entire career from the jump. So
no, I think that's wonderful, though. I mean, and it's almost you never know, but it's almost inevitable. I think that when you just through your demonstration of how you're living and sport, being physical, training is such a big part of your life. I feel like it has to, and especially because you're not pushy from what you're sharing, it's got to rub off in a really positive way. And I mean, the skill transfer from the intangibles, just like the mindset, the things that we take, like courage is a big, it's huge, right? And so what you were just sharing about, being afraid and, all that stuff, it's like courage. I think confidence is the result of the work that courage does, right? Like courage is stepping up to that bar at 3:15. Like you don't necessarily have the confidence yet. You haven't fucking done it yet, but you have the courage to say, fuck, I'm going to try. I believe in myself. I'm going to, even if it drops. Okay, let's go. And I think that is such an important value just in general to have in life, but especially as a parent to your kids. I think the difference between playing life to win versus playing to avoid loss is a completely different fucking human.
Amen.
Yeah.
This is where we get into prevent defense. And
Well,
I am very much, I play to win. Like,
yeah.
I'm not playing not to lose.
Yeah. Well, that's why there's resonance with you, because I get that about you. And I think it's so valuable. I really do. Like, again, not saying it's easy at all. You're going to get your ass fucking kicked, but it's that overcoming, it's that getting back up and who you become on that get back up. Right. And not just for anything out here, but especially because of what that makes you feel about yourself. Like that's the part that I love to fucking highlight, because how you feel about yourself after I'm just focusing on the PR because you just, it's pretty fresh, but like, and it's, impressive, but like how you feel about yourself, not just because you pushed the thing, you did it, but because you even just having the fucking goal of like, I'm going to do this and setting yourself up to do that. I think that really is something that I want, how you want people to be more healthy, and like this is a part of health, right? Vitality, if people can feel that more. Yeah,
I think you nailed it with courage. Like I want people to be more courageous. I don't see that enough, and I do look at that too. Is it's a strength. It's a muscle that will atrophy if we don't keep applying. And putting ourselves in those uncomfortable situations and finding out, like, I have the courage to step into the ring. I have that courage. Whether or not I win or lose, it's irrelevant. Me stepping into the arena is everything. And that's just what I've learned personally. That's worked really well for me. And I definitely want to convey that to my kids and on the show. And I want to challenge people to, it provides so much. Like you work your way through all of these challenges and struggles, and you find out what you're capable of. And I think that it reinforces that internal confidence. It raises you up a whole nother level that you can keep growing. And so, it starts with the courage, though. I mean, I think that's the biggest step. Even just stepping into the gym, I think it takes a lot for somebody that's super deconditioned and is intimidated by other people that maybe are way beyond them in their fitness and health journey. And just taking yourself out of the comparison trap and just removing any kind of outside influence of, my significant other is probably not going to like this, or my friends aren't going to like this, or just cutting everybody out and stepping in and doing it. And I had a couple experiences that I could identify with that. One was like going to Chicago and leaving all my friends and my girlfriend at the time, and I went to school there and then played football, and so that was a big step, and it was like a whole reinventing experience for me that was impactful. Coming back, even I was here at Mind Pump at the time, and early on. Had the opportunity to play in a football game that was, amongst other 40-year-old men. It was a reunion game, and it was a pretty big deal because the guy that put it together, Wally, he worked for Tap Out, and he was the president there of their video production and whatnot. And so he used to play in a rival high school to us, and we shared the league title together. And this was because we were supposed to go into overtime, and for rules, he could either take the tie, or we could play it out and see who the real winner was. And he talked with his coach, and he decided that they were going to take the tie. And so that was his decision. And we were all, so you get two responses from that. You get from the crowd there and from their team. Yeah, they're cheering. Everybody's happy about it. And then from, our perspective, we're super bummed out and pissed off, and we felt robbed because we knew we were the better team. But again, this caused controversy. Years later, it was stirred up again on Facebook, and these guys got into it and were trolling each other, talking trash, and he tried to set it up so it was almost to the point where we didn't get to practice more than a week. They practiced for months ahead of time. They were like, hey, you guys want to put on pads and let's settle this once and for all, kind of a thing, right? And everybody thought I was crazy. And they're like, why would you put yourself in harm's way and potentially get injured because you're 40 years old, you haven't played in, I don't even know, it was probably 10 years. And I was just like, you know what? This is like a principle thing for me. Yeah. This guy's calling me out. He doesn't know what's coming. This is going to backfire hardcore. And sure enough, so the mentality I grew up with a bunch of tough guys that were, we prided ourselves in not just our athleticism ability. It was more that we came in and we hit people really hard, and we hurt people. That's just what we did. And it's just, again, people get uncomfortable with that, but that's football.
Yeah.
And so that was the energy we were bringing in. And turns out we won, and this was all filmed, and this was like a big deal. It. There was drones, there was red cameras. He was trying to make a documentary out of it. Yeah. And he already had this whole narrative, everything was all scripted out and storyboarded. But guess what? Somehow didn't come out. He wrote himself in as the hero, and then now we don't get to see the film. And so anyway, that was I'll still call him out to this day that he had an opportunity to put it out there and redeem himself, and decided to kind of go the full ego route and just put it aside. So
hilarious.
Yeah, but that was a moment where it was funny because it was just relevant because my whole family and everybody was like, "Don't do it! What are you doing? You're too old for this." And it's just, and it doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah,
I'm up for the challenge. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's that strong integrity, strong values. Like you said, it's a principle thing. I so understand that. You're not. I said it earlier in the conversation. You don't back down from the fight. And it's not. It's not an ego thing. One could argue and dissect it, and then it becomes this deep philosophical conversation. But I think it's really just no, this is my stance on it. And so let's fucking go.
Yeah. That's it.
I love it.
That's it. Draw a line in the sand and let's play ball.
I love it. Oh man. Well, no, there's, a minute ago, you were like the parent, it could be a whole nother subject, but tying this all in, it's like, no, I do believe that quote, how you do anything is how you do everything. I think there's some truth to that. And it's very evident in your life, you know, just seeing, again, from outside, but I'm a feeling girl. I can feel things, and seeing how you maneuver and, you know, with your team, with Mind Pump, how you guys show up. I mean, how you show up as a husband, a father, just a fucking great man. I mean, it's really evident. It's awesome. I think, you know, there's, I could keep talking to you, but I know you've got a lot of shit to do. I do have a couple of fun questions that I couldn't wait to ask you. So,
oh, good.
Kind of rapid fire. Okay. Because I know with you, it's going to be all right. Podcast walkout song, if you had one, and I'm sure I'm just going to give this to you because I feel like we're the same. I'm sure it's going to depend on the mood, the day, maybe who you're talking with, sure. Right? So, if it was today, what's your podcast?
Today.
Yep.
Ooh. Have you, let's see. So I was in kind of an angsty mood this morning. I didn't even feel good. It's funny because I had like a lot of stomach issues like all day today. And even on the podcast, like I was like, man, like I'm not going to let this affect me. And it's just been bothering me all day. And so I've just been like, really angsty. And, you know, one of my tried and true favorite songs, and I'm sure you probably blasted this a million times growing up and peeling out of the parking lot. The Rage Against the Machine song, where they go off and it's like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That one just pulls it out of you like, fuck it. Like,
yeah, that's sort of my anthem.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good. I was in the 8th grade when that came out. It was so good.
It's not Freedom, right? I forget what the song title is, but it's.
Wow, I should know the name. It was like the greatest fucking rage anthem, but maybe because I'm on the spot right now, I'm blanking. Is it Freedom? I don't know.
Freedom. No. That was a different chorus breakdown.
Hold on. I'm not going to be satisfied with this. Especially this fucking music. Girl.
I know it's going to bother me too.
Yeah. No, we got to sort this out really quick. Hold on. Let's see here.
Of those things.
Killing in the fucking name of.
Killing in the name
how could we have?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, at least I wasn't alone in this.
I was leaning on you to help me there. Jeez.
Does it ever happen though? Like it's like forgetting your name in the moment. It's like, how am I fucking forgetting this? It's just being on the spot.
Yeah. I blame it on football. So I've hit my head too many times. That's my go-to.
Blame it on fucking podcast lights. Okay. Still in the music realm.
Okay.
First concert.
Ooh, yeah. First concert. Let's see. So it was a punk concert at the Vets Hall, and it was Bad Religion, Lagwagon, and Seaweed. Or what was it? Yeah, it was Seaweed. So yeah, it was those three. My cousin lived with us. She was like 4 years older than me, and she was a big influence. While I was in junior high and high school. And when I was in junior high and she was in high school, she used to take me to cool, all ages shows. And then she even snuck me in some of those like adult shows.
Yeah.
And we used to sneak out of church, and then she'd take me to concerts at like the Catalyst. Rad. And yeah, she was a cool cousin to grow up. But she took me to a lot of punk concerts, and then I kind of evolved from punk into metal and then hard rock and metal, and that was kind of my thing. But a lot of punk growing up, yeah. So I hit that up. That was my first distinctive concert where I got thrown into a pit, and I was like, oh, didn't know what to do.
I was talking to my boy or Chris about the pit because Metallica might be coming to the Sphere here in Vegas. I'm in Vegas, right? I'm back and forth, California and Vegas, but yeah,
I heard about that. That's awesome.
Right? I'm like, I don't,
I'd love to see that.
I don't know if you've been to the Sphere, but incredible. The Eagles is one of my favorite groups, and I saw them there, and I think the Eagles was perfect for the Sphere because you can't really, it's not a place where you're getting up and you're, you know what I mean? You kind of have to sit because the Sphere is the show, right? The band is kind of second to the Sphere. So I don't know, but I'm sure whatever goes down there would be dope. But, you know, I mean, we were talking about the Pit because I was like, you know, these days I have no problem admitting that I'm a little bit more of a bougie bitch. Like I'm not trying to, I've been in Cypress Hills fucking, you know, my fucking hair's being pulled and it, you know, back in the day, it was fine. Now you're going to fucking, if anybody comes near, like, we're going to have a real problem. So
don't mess with me.
No. Yeah. I'm like, just stay. But I mean, if Metallica comes around to the Sphere, there's no way. I mean, that's legendary, just the Sphere. But I'm going to give you my first concert, but I'm not going to give you the band names. And I want to see, I'm going to give you the albums.
Oh, okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Let me see if I can guess. Yeah.
10, Nevermind.
Oh, wait, no, Pearl Jam and then Nirvana.
And Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic.
And Red Hot Chili Peppers. Wow, that's a great lineup.
Fuck, right?
How is that possible? Okay, so
I wore a Jimmy
killer.
Cliff t-shirt and red jeans.
My favorite
again.
concert I've ever been to was Primus. I used to go to a lot of Primus concerts for New Year's Eve.
Oh, wow.
And this is when Tool was just coming up. And it was Primus, it was Tool, and it was Helmet. And oh my God, dude, that was such a rad show.
See, I knew it. You are totally, because the boys that I was friends with, especially 7th and 8th grade, they Primus, Tool, Helmet, they were, and we were all a crew, you know. I didn't get too much into, I mean, I like Primus and Tool, but it wasn't like my go-to, you know. I'm also like, my range is so ridiculous, and I'm sure you can relate. Like Depeche Mode is everything to me. I can't even,
That's all I listen to now, which is hilarious. Like, it's
really?
all like 80s pop. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, the music is a shit, but doesn't it just feel good?
Yeah, it's feel good.
It's like feel good music, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you put on the Karate Kid. It's like I'm gonna feel good right now. Like,
Oh yeah.
I just watched Top Gun last fucking Friday, and I'm like, God, it doesn't get better than this. Like Maverick, you fucking ruined it for every man, but I still love this fucking movie. Yeah. Well, what would be a band that you haven't seen yet that you would really love to see?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of the mega bands. Like, I don't like. Honestly, I'm more of like that subculture. The the punk rock, and then it was like metal, and so I ended up going to a lot of these festivals and underground like metal bands and like crazy stuff. Everybody's like, "What the hell is like?" I like going to see music that really I like only, and I know other people don't like it. Like for some reason, that gets me. It gets me.
It's like a form of rebellion. It's like the dark side of you.
Yeah, I know. It's weird because it's like I play music. My wife can't stand it. I go downstairs. I crank it up all the way loud. Everybody is like gets assaulted with it, and I love it, and they despise it. But
that's awesome.
That's okay. But I do love, like you had mentioned, Metallica. I've never seen Metallica. Would love to see them.
Same.
Love to see Pantera. Would love to see AC/DC.
Yes.
And Rage Against the Machine. I've never seen either. So it's like some of those iconic bands. Like I always thought about trying to go see, and I never have. Pearl Jam actually was one of my targets that I almost got to go see, and then it didn't work out, and I was so bummed because that was if I want to place like junior high to high school, like the band that probably influenced me the most is probably Pearl Jam.
I get it
because I listened to that 10 album back to back.
Man.
By myself for years.
I get it. Well, it becomes like a part of the fabric of your fucking reality. Like I get it. Albums, music. I always say like I don't listen to my music. I live my music. It literally becomes a part of me, you know, and especially like different seasons and chapters, like you said, and when it's on repeat that album is containing that big part of your life. So it's beyond the music. It's so special. I love connecting with people who really have this kind of relationship to music, because it actually is almost like, not, I wouldn't say a filter, but it just helps me. I immediately understand you more, because there's a certain depth that you have to be able to respond to music in this way. Because a lot of people love music, but they could also almost live without it. Whereas like I couldn't.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like it doesn't define them in any way, you know, or they're not like moved by it. Like they're like, oh, that's a good song.
Yeah.
What do you mean that's a good song? Like that's like that defines my entire childhood, you know?
Exactly.
It's not just good. It's like it's the most important song I've ever heard. Yeah. So it's a lot deeper for me, for sure.
I love it. Okay, pivoting from there, thing you're most proud of so far about Mind Pump, you guys, the show?
Well, honestly, it's whenever I get to hear feedback, and this is why we do the live callers and why we've done live events. When I hear firsthand accounts and I hear people in moments of despair, and it like impacted them and changed their life in some way, that's everything for me. Like I don't care about anything else really. So that's like, it's still the coolest. Like it seems like lip service at this point sometimes, because people will call in and they're like, they almost feel like obligated to they're like, oh, thanks guys. You know, I love your content, what you put out. And it's like, thank you. But then every now and then there's one that's just like, oh my God, like I was like rock bottom and I was in this place that like I didn't see any way out. And, you know, like I had a moment like that when I was at Paleo Effects, and this young lady came up and had just expressed that, you know, she had suicidal thoughts and was like having like horrible eating issues and conditions, and had gone to all this therapy, and then just started, you know, randomly listening to us, and she's like, it was like you guys were like a friend in my ear, and then just slowly talked me out of these things, and it was like it was just an opportunity for her to kind of start looking at things differently, and it just impacted her in a positive way, and it just completely like reversed her trajectory with her life. And I don't know,
so rad.
I lost it. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, dude, that's a big deal for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, health is the greatest lever. I always say, like, everyone has, you know, a million problems until you have one, right? And that is always going to be the health thing. So you're out there and you know, you're giving so much to support individuals. Really, I don't even think it's health. Like, health is, you know, whatever. Actually, the word that I prefer, being an asshole about words, is vitality. Because you guys encompass, you know, it's the whole sort of mentality, approach to life. It's not just, you know, eat this, train this way, or don't do that. It's the whole, it's everything. And that when you are someone that is living with vitality, I mean, you're operating at a higher frequency in life. You know, it's not just avoiding disease, which I think, you know, health is like baseline that. So I understand why that would hit you so deeply, because I don't think there's a bigger gift than helping someone come out of such a dark place and step into a place of vitality. That's fucking awesome. I love it.
I love it. I mean, we've hit milestones and we've done things financially that are great, and it just doesn't hit me the same way. I was never motivated by that. It's a reflection of, to me, like effort and work, and so, you know, each new kind of growth period that we've experienced excites me, and taking on more employees and trying to branch out now to help trainers more exclusively.
Yeah.
That's exciting, and that's that's something that I'll look back on and definitely be proud of where we go with that. But yeah, really, I guess it's to me, it's just getting to this point where I feel like I've made a difference through the podcast, and I feel like people have been impacted by it positively and have shared that with us. That's like, it means a lot to me.
I love it. As a father, what would be one thing that you really want your kids to remember about you?
Just that I was honest and I had integrity, and I don't know that
you could beat up all the parents in the parents' meeting room.
Yeah, I was stronger than them.
You're that dad. I heard you say that. Like, I'm gonna be that dad that walks in the parent meeting room. I was like, oh yes, so good.
And kick your dad's ass. Yeah. So bring it. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Before we go, maps, new program, like just spill it all out. Everything will be, make sure that it's all highlighted in the show notes. But yeah. Share the goods with the world. We have things in the hopper, and we're trying new things out. We actually have a whole new marketing team that's working with us. We really like them. Nice.
We've been trying our best over the years to find somebody that really understands our messaging and who we are and what we're trying to do. And we're not trying to do all the tricks and get the attention that through those types of means that most marketing companies do. So it's been very challenging to find a good fit for us.
Yeah.
So far, we're really enjoying working with this new marketing team, and they're really kind of guiding us. This is the first time we've had real good communication with our marketing team.
Rad.
So like our products and everything are going to take on a whole new look, and hopefully people notice, the change in a positive way. But yeah, we have more Maps 15 style programs in the hopper. I wrote quite a few of those.
Amazing.
And so we just found that's been such a helpful addition and tool for people because of their lifestyle, because of the new job, or like they just had a kid, or but they want to stay consistent and still see a lot of great results. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And so there's just been, well, what if you guys did that to some of your other programs? And so I started to think about that and take that on. So that's something, in the future we'll be releasing more of those.
Right.
And then, honestly, we'll see our numbers now coming in terms of who's actually buying the majority of the products and all that is going to steer a little bit of our attention. And, there's a lot of women buyers, and which is really cool. And so we might have a little more, women focused products coming out.
Great.
In the future as well to address women's health more specifically.
That's rad.
Exciting stuff with that. And we're receptive to all of it and want to make sure that we put out what people want, and we take feedback, and we definitely listen to our audience. So, so all of that. And then, we got options with kind of attaching a trainer to our programs and groups that are accountability groups within these programs. So there's a lot more you at least feel like more hand holding availability through that journey. So you're not kind of like, here's the plan and see you later.
That's
a lot
huge.
more help with that that we're going to provide. So it's exciting
great
stuff. And this ship is turning, and we're getting back on track. So
I love it. My audience knows I'm very stringent, very particular about a lot of things, but anything related to, it's like quality control. If And I'm very grateful that I've built this trust over the years. This is my 8th year now. December will be year fucking 8 that I've been podcasting. Isn't that fucking crazy? I mean, and again, that's why, like, at the top, like, you guys had a huge impact on me. You know, when I was getting ready to go into it, it's like you warmed me up to podcasting, and I was like, you know, I'm a conversationalist. I don't interview. I just like to talk and
this
connect.
Is so much better.
Yeah.
I appreciate this style so much more. So
good.
yeah, it's way more enjoyable.
Well, I was going to say, you guys are the shit. Truly. I for those who don't know of you, I don't know where you're living, but if you haven't yet come across Mind Pump and all your programs, like everything that you guys put out, there's so much mastery in it. And as a woman who's very physical, health, vitality is a priority to me. You know, people know it, people see it. So the food that I eat, the fucking way I sleep, the way I train, like all of it matters to me. And it's all at a very high quality level. You know what I mean? I don't fuck around with, and I don't buy into marketing. Like, I know science, you know, I mean, my best friend's Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, Carrie, I love Dr. Lyon. She's the shit, right? She's I mean, yeah. So I'm just saying that you guys are the shit. Anything you put out is the shit. And I know, and I love that you're taking on more of the women's stuff too, because obviously that's important. I mean, the guests that you bring on, you talk about, and so, and I know just as a woman who, you know, a lot of women come to me about training specifically. I mean, I'm not a trainer. I've never, you know, not at all. I'm just very physical and athletic and love it. But I know that there is such a need for programming and for that accountability. I love that you're including that too, because it's needed. You know, it's one thing to hand off like the best fucking program that ever happened to anybody. But if they don't have, a lot of times they need that, you know, that whole hand holding, not in some kind of weak way, but just like encouraging and all that stuff. So
it's helpful.
I love that you guys are doing that. And yeah, I mean, thank you so much. Truly, like, you know, you said for you, it's not about the money. It's like, you just want to know that you're making a difference. And my thought to that is that it's already like mission accomplished, but I know that, you know, for you, it's like, it's just the bar is going to keep moving up. But you really are, just the way you guys show up, it's so real, the contribution, the fucking heart. And, you know, I truly am on your team, fucking big supporter, and yeah, just very, very grateful. So next time we got to do in person. Thank you so
for sure.
much. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. No, this was great. I love talking about all this stuff and being able to kind of relay, you know, the true intentions and you know, what we're all about. Cause I think sometimes, you know, it comes across, but people don't really know, you know, what we're really trying to do. And that's really the core of it all. So, yeah, that's very nice words. Thank you for that. And say hi to your family for me too. And Aria especially. Yeah.
I will.
Miss that guy. So, but yeah, we'll have to do this in person sometime. So
no, absolutely. That's, I got to come up and see you guys in person. You know, my best friend lives up there too. So, you know, I see it happening in the future. So,
yeah.
So then this is a to be continued.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
Timestamp. Right.
Thank you.